Of people infected from coronavirus has reached 938,000, while over 47,000 others have died across the world so far. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said process of reforms in the gas sector will continue uninterruptedly. Chairing a meeting on reforms process in the gas sector in Islamabad today, he said durable solution to the problems in this sector is the priority of the government. The Prime Minister said people can be provided relief by addressing the shortcomings in the system and optimally utilizing the resources. Imran Khan said limited gas resources demand that these resources are to be utilized in the best possible manner. He said provision of liquefied petroleum gas should be ensured in areas where the natural gas is not available so that the people's needs are met and deforestation is discouraged. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said a massive package for the construction industry will be announced tomorrow to maintain the economic activity important to deal with the coronavirus challenge. He was addressing a ceremony in connection with distribution of 100 billion rupees tax refunds amongst businessmen in Islamabad today. He said we have decided to open up the construction industry and give it the necessary incentives in order to provide job opportunities to the people. He said necessary standard operating procedures will also be developed to ensure the safety of workers at the workplace. Imran Khan said promoting industry and giving incentives to the businesses is important to take the country forward. He said refund of 100 billion rupees to the business community today is part of that process. The Chairman Senate Mohammad Sadiq Sanjarani called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. The government has decided to launch a campaign titled Hackathon to mitigate the adverse impacts of coronavirus across the country. This was stated by the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on National Health Services, Dr. Zafar Mirza, while updating the media on the latest coronavirus situation in the country in Islamabad this evening. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashikawan, has welcomed the Japanese assistance of $2.16 million for Pakistan to deal with the coronavirus epidemic. In a tweet today, she said Japan has always helped Pakistan in difficult times. Firdaus Ashikawan said the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Imran Khan, is taking every possible step for the protection of the people from coronavirus. She said it is our priority to provide relief to the deserving families. The British High Commissioner Dr. Christian Turner has said Britain fully supports Pakistan's efforts to provide relief to the people and is ready to provide any assistance if required in the form of aid through Department for International Development. He expressed these views while talking to the advisor to the Prime Minister on Finance and Revenue, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, in Islamabad today. During the meeting, they discussed the situation arising out of coronavirus. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has reiterated Pakistan's readiness to host the SAARC Health Ministers video conference in face of coronavirus pandemic. In a telephonic conversation with the Secretary General SAARC Isala Ruwan Virakun today, he said being a founding member, Pakistan is committed to the SAARC process and considers it an important platform for regional cooperation. Felicitating Virakun on assuming responsibilities as the 14th Secretary General of SAARC, the Foreign Minister assured him of Pakistan's full support. The Foreign Minister and the Secretary General SAARC discussed the challenges faced by the South Asian states in the face of the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. The two sides emphasized on the need for joint efforts to deal with the prevailing situation. Meanwhile, Shah Mahmood Qureshi also held a telephonic conversation with Qatari Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Mohammed bin Abdurrahman As-Sani today and discussed the situation resulting from the rapid spread of COVID-19 pandemic and ways to mitigate the crisis. Shah Mahmood Qureshi said Pakistan is deploying all available resources to curtail the spread of COVID-19 and reduce its impact. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has deeply appreciated the help and support being extended by China to cope with coronavirus pandemic. At the weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, the Foreign Office spokesperson Aisha Farooqi said our collective efforts to fight this pandemic is once again a testimony to our all-weather strategic cooperative partnership. Giving details of the Chinese support, the spokesperson said China has provided $4 million for the establishment of a separate hospital for coronavirus patients. She said another flight has reached Islamabad from Beijing, which brought relief assistance of almost $3 million from various Chinese organizations this morning. The relief assistance included protective equipment, ventilators, face masks, and testing kits. Pakistan has strongly condemned and rejected the latest Indian action aimed at illegally changing the demographic structure of the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In a statement, the Foreign Office spokesperson Aisha Farooqi said the so-called Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Order 2020 is another illegal step by India to settle non-Kashmiris in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir by changing the domicile laws. This is a clear violation of international laws, including the Fourth Geneva Convention. She said the United Nations and the international community must take immediate cognizance of this Indian action, prevent India from changing the demography of the occupied territory, and hold India accountable for its persistent violations of international law. The spokesperson said on its part, Pakistan will continue to highlight India's state terrorism in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and its denial of the fundamental freedoms and inalienable right to self-determination to the Kashmiri people. The President Azad Jammu and Kashmir Sardar Masood Khan has strongly condemned India's move in which non-local people, predominantly Hindus from India, will be given domicile in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In a statement issued in Muzaffarabad today, he said Kashmiris will never accept these rules and oppose them with tooth and nail. The AJK president called upon the United Nations Security Council and the Secretary General Antonio Guterres to intervene as the issue is on the agenda of the Security Council. The number of people infected from coronavirus across the world has reached 938,000, while over 47,000 have died so far, according to Johns Hopkins University of the United States. The death toll in the United States is now over 5,000, while the number of infected people has crossed 200,000. In Spain, the death toll crossed 9,000, whereas over 100,000 have been infected with the virus. In Italy, the death toll also crossed 13,000, while over 3,000 people lost their lives in Iran due to this pandemic. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. To end the news, here once again are the headlines. The Prime Minister says process of reforms in the gas sector will continue uninterruptedly. The Special Assistant on Information has welcomed the Japanese assistance of $2.16 million to Pakistan to deal with the coronavirus. The Foreign Minister has reiterated Pakistan's readiness to host the SAARC Health Ministers video conference in the face of coronavirus pandemic. Pakistan has highly appreciated the Chinese help to cope with coronavirus pandemic. Pakistan has strongly condemned and rejected the latest Indian action of giving residency rights to outsiders in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The number of people infected from coronavirus has crossed 938,000, while over 47,000 others have died across the world so far. Those were the headlines, and that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.